You on 10, I'm on 12. I count it up, I break the scales. I'm in your crib, I'm on the shelves. I'm in these streets, all by myself.
How's everybody doing today? I'm your host Andy on Ask Your Brown Friend. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. I'd like to say welcome everybody who is new to the channel and my content. I'd like to ask you all to go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. So I'm just going to jump into what I'm going to talk about today. You know, I really don't have much going on today. Today, you know, it's just a Saturday. It's kind of raining outside and stuff. And so I consider, you know, just spending some time with my kids, you know, and just kind of checking out what they watch and stuff like that, you know, on television, you know, thinking about, you know, my childhood growing up. You know, so I'm sitting with my 2-year-old and he's watching Dinosaur Adventure. I don't know if you ever guys, any of you ever checked out the Dinosaur Adventure channel on YouTube. It's pretty cool. It's got this kid and this grown man, which is, I don't know what their relationship is, but it's very cool. They go on like this adventure, like they're doing Jurassic Park like all over every day, each day, and they get toys and they go places and stuff, and that's pretty cool. And I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty cool, you know. And I'm sitting there, you know. I go into the next room, and I see what my other child is watching, and he's a little older. He's about 12, you know, getting ready to be a teenager, and he's watching some silly channel about some show called Trolls. I don't remember the exact channel it was on, but the show he told me was called Trolls. I'm sitting there watching it with him, and I'm like, okay, they're talking about somebody's soul gonna get sacrificed. I'm like over here like, this is some deep stuff you watching here. But all in all, you know what I'm saying, it is a pretty good show. You know, they got some good humor and some good lessons at the end of the day when it all boils down to it. And I started thinking to myself, like, what kind of stuff did I watch, you know, growing up as a kid, you know what I mean? And I was thinking, I was like, oh my goodness. And I just started laughing. I was like, what was like the most dysfunctional show I could remember growing up as a child? And I'm like, it had to be Sesame Street. And I was sitting there like, Sesame Street. Oh my goodness. I started thinking about how real life is going, you know what I mean, in 2018. And I'm like, wait. So watching Sesame Street as a child, that's why I'm able to adapt with things that's going on. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, 90% of the American population, or even population around the world that got a chance to watch and engage with Sesame Street on a daily basis, you know what I'm saying, in your life, you know, till at least, you know, till like you're about like 7 or 8, you learn how to adapt, right? Like, for example, on Sesame Street, they got you warmed up as a little kid to what gay people were, you know, because they had Bert and Ernie, you know what I mean? And Bert and Ernie had something special going on. As a kid, I was just like, oh, you know, they're really good friends. And as I sat and watched an episode before I did this video, I was like, oh my. As a child, they got us. Bert and Ernie were holding hands a lot. They were very chummy. And I was like, oh snap, they warmed us up to gay people. And then I think about the other characters like Big Bird. I'm like, Big Bird? So technically Big Bird was like somebody that was on speed of some kind, because this guy, I thought I was hyper. And for those people that actually know me in real life, they'll tell you, like, I'm full of energy all the time. I'm on a 25/8. That's just how I live. It's full throttle all day, each day with Andy. But Big Bird, he was doing something else. You know, I'm living life. Big Bird was up to something no good. Another character, which I really can't tell you what angle they were coming off with this one, but Count. I couldn't tell you if Count was a cross between a pimp or a drug dealer or a homeboy, because Count had some fly clothes like a brother, right? But he was always counting something and up to something. And I really couldn't tell his angle. Another one was Oscar the Grouch, which basically desensitized you as a child to poor people, homeless people, and people that are in need. If you really think about it, those people that got a chance to watch Sesame Street growing up, it desensitized you about people that are less fortunate. You were kind of like, check Oscar out. He wants to be in that garbage can. He lives there. He's fine. Matter of fact, I'm going to see him tomorrow. Right there, 3:30, in the can, living it up. You know? Another one was Grover. Right? Grover was one of those characters, like, he was in and out. You know what I mean? So Grover was like the transient. He was kind of like, he would kind of remind me of like a pill junkie. You know what I mean? Because he was hype, then he wasn't. He was down. So he might have been manic depressive or something too. You know, it could have been the manic depressive character. You know, he could. That's probably what he was meant to get us all. You know, somebody who was bipolar. You know, Grover. Think about it. So if you've never watched Sesame Street and you're watching my channel, go check out an episode of Sesame Street. Let's move on. Another character, Cookie Monster. Come on, he was a crackhead. He was a modern day crackhead. Okay, for real, think about it. Every time he saw a cookie, you could be just talking to him, Cookie Monster, blah, 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 cookie. If Cookie Monster had children during the holiday season, I'm pretty sure everything would be sold in order to get them cookies. I'm just saying. And the last character, which was pretty much a dead giveaway now that I'm an adult, and is Snuffleupagus. Snuffleupagus was the modern day heroin addict. He was always coming around, begging, borrowing, up to something. You really just didn't know. He was very shady acting. He had those big eyes, and he seemed like you could almost connect with him, but then he was gone in an instant, and then, you know, a couple weeks later he showed back up, you know, with a story to tell. You know, it's just kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? You know, I just want everybody, you know, just kind of enjoy where you're at in life. You know what I mean? Me, myself, I'm in my late 30s, you know, so as I think back on my childhood, I enjoy, you know, reminiscing on some of the TV shows. Anybody remember Zoobilee Zoo? That was a cool show. Or the Thundercats. That was one of my favorite shows. Rocket Man. You know, there was just so much going on. They had O.G. Reedmore. He actually taught lessons. You know, nowadays, looking at what's going on with television, I'm scared. You know, so that's why I keep my kids like with a couple hours window of entertainment, because things out here are just crazy. I just want everybody to stay safe. You know, stay positive. You know what I mean? And try to, you know, wherever you're at in your life or in your day, if something bad's going on, kind of think back to when things were good, when things were carefree, you know, and then get back to reality and try to make that your today or your tomorrow. Take care. My name is Andy. You know, if you have any questions or, you know, jokes or anything you want to add to the content, email it to me. It's in my description. Take care.